Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sorting Hat Podcast, the show where everything and anything can and will be sorted. I, as always, am your host, Michael Barryte, joined by my co-host, Brice. Nothing? You're not giving me anything today? All right.
I just want this to be as uncomfortable and forced for you in every possible way.
It's exactly that, because customarily our guest joining us is an expert or fan of something. We're joined by Paul Roberson once again, who is definitely a fan of something. A fan of awful movies that he wants to make me watch.
This is my Christmas right now. It's like Paul Roberson, who if you don't know, you have a YouTube series where you get drunk and describe how to make the cocktails and also just give some good old fashioned wisdom.
Yeah, just whatever wisdom pops into my head while I'm super drunk.
Like you're very well versed in both literature and film and so many other things. And of all the topics that you were like, I could talk about those things. You're like, no, we're going to talk about awful movies that I've been trying to make you watch forever, Michael.
This is not
and I'm an expert
hyperbole.
in this.
I have seen on no fewer than 3 instances Paul say, let's watch this, and Michael just go, no.
I will say, of this short list of movies, I eventually broke down and saw one of these movies. And
let's start with that one then.
We are. Okay, so and
I originally pitched this because I was going to try to use this to make you watch these movies, but it failed.
Well, so when I was more actively doing Belated Media, the YouTube channel that I have that covers movies, I had a short run series called Movie Talks with Michael. Very clever name, where I'd be bringing on another YouTube personality and then we'd be discussing a film. And Paul was like, Michael, I have to come on and we're going to watch Surf Ninjas. And I was like, no, Paul, you're not coming on. And then Paul was like, Michael, I made a YouTube channel so I can come on and we can discuss Surf Ninjas. And I was like, no, Paul. And then finally, at some point, I got a brand deal with this like live streaming series. So I did bring you on and I did watch Surf Ninjas.
Because you had no choice. You needed to fill content time.
I did. And so, yeah. I watched Surf Ninjas. Let's talk about Surf Ninjas first.
Yeah, break it down. Doesn't this film star Rob Schneider?
Yes. This film is interesting in that it
co-stars Rob Schneider.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yes, co-stars Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider was on at Saturday Night Live at the time, and he is playing a 16-year-old in this movie.
That's amazing.
A full adult Rob Schneider.
Yeah, but that was, in 1992, when this film came out, if you were a high school student, you were played by 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like Beverly Hills 90210 famously had a woman who played, I think, Andrea Martin on the show, and she was in her mid-30s. She was playing a 17-year-old.
When I was on Lizzie McGuire, the guy who played Gordo.
Oh, yeah. Isn't he like almost a full decade older?
He was celebrating his 18th or maybe even older birthday on the day that I was there, and Hilary Duff is like 13 or 14.
That only creeps me out because he later became a romantic interest for the characters who were much younger than him.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, like in the Lizzie McGuire movie, in which I think Hilary Duff was still only about 15 or 16 years old, they kiss. And I would feel so weird being a 16-year-old being forced to kiss like a 22-year-old.
Yeah, that's a little...
Maybe that's why they filmed it in Europe.
Too hot for American TV. Okay,
the laws are different.
So what is Surf Ninjas about? Although I feel like the title might be pretty self-evident.
You say that, but it's so much weirder.
Yeah.
Let's go into it.
This film is a masterpiece. So, where to even begin with the plot? Essentially, Surf Ninjas... all right, so there's this island nation called Patusan.
Yep.
And
it's coming back to me.
I'm going to hazard a guess that this might not be an actual Pacific Islander.
Actually, it's not a real Pacific Island, but it is a part of it comes from this book called Lord Jim, which is the kind of a sequel to Heart of Darkness.
What?
Yeah, this film in like a really existential way is it technically takes place in the same universe as Apocalypse Now, because Apocalypse Now is based off of Heart of Darkness, so this is technically based off of Lord Jim.
Holy shit!
The horror.
Yeah.
This is a double feature, y'all. Apocalypse Now, then go into its spiritual sequel, Surf Ninjas. Okay.
Tonally, you could not pick two more dissimilar films.
So there's this island, and what happens?
Island nation that has this king and queen, and then they have these two sons, the princes, and but the island nation is besieged by this general, Colonel Chi, played by Leslie Nielsen.
Wait.
Yes.
The Don't Call Me Shirley airplane and star of all the Naked Gun franchise.
Yes.
And potentially whitest, daddest
yes.
man ever to live.
Yes.
Leslie Nielsen is the chief.
I don't know how many more times I can say yes. Yes.
His name is Colonel Chi. He is in every scene, like in that original scene that you see him, he is in full samurai armor.
Mm-hmm.
Samurai?
Yes.
Okay, now like Apocalypse Now, is this supposed to be like the Marlon Brando character of the film?
Oh no, you're assuming that this is a much headier.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Certainly not.
They just cast an Aryan man as a Pacific Islander. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna get a lot worse.
Okay, yeah. I'm buckling in.
So he takes over the island nation. So these two young princes, they give him to this guy to take him to Los Angeles so they can be safe. So these two young princes are brought up in, I think, like Manhattan Beach or
yeah,
of course, that's where you go.
It's Southern California, where just the beach community is thriving and the arcades are hopping.
Yeah. This is prime 90s. So it cuts to them being older teenagers, and they're surfing, and they have no idea that they're these princes. They think that the guy that's taking care of them just adopted them.
Okay.
And the opening of that movie has one of my favorite openings in the world because it opens with Rob Schneider plays their best friend Eggy, who
Yep.
who's kind of a geek, and he the big one of the arcs of his character is that they all go out to surf, but he never goes out to surf. I guess he's too afraid to actually do it. So
yeah, in general, he's a coward.
He's
the
the
whole
surfer
time.
who doesn't surf.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he spends all of his time just waxing his surfboard.
That's what I would do. I can barely swim. I learned to swim when I was in the 6th grade, and only because I got invited to a pool party, and my little gay ass never got invited to anything growing up. So I was like, even if I die, I at least got to go to a party.
Yeah.
I will say that swimming, great cardio, and also probably good for your upper body development.
Oh yeah, if you're wondering why Michael's only giving me upper body advice, I recently had a double mastectomy, so I am getting back into the swing of being able to use my arms at all.
Yeah. So it's good for your arms, it's good for your chest, it's good for your core.
Me and any other dudes who just had top surgery, let's get in the pool.
I mean, in general, swimming is great exercise because it also minimizes just basic resistance from weight training and anything like that.
Yeah.
That would cause strain on bones or muscles.
Yeah, no
but
impact.
I would definitely be the dude to this day, because fuck the ocean, who would say, I'm gonna hang back and wait until my board's waxed properly.
Yeah.
So what happens next?
Okay, so and I think at that point Colonel Chi knows that they're that they're living there, so he's throughout the first part of this movie he's sending assassins, but they're assassins dressed in wetsuits with camo. These
they emerge from the ocean, I believe.
Yeah, they emerge from the ocean blue and white camo, and the kids are surfing, and I think one of the kids the guy's gonna come out with a harpoon gun to kill him, but he just surfs and hits him and knocks him out, and washes up on the beach, and some kids playing with him as they have to now go to school.
Yeah.
And Iggy's oh no, I almost done waxing my board. And then it goes into my favorite thing I've ever seen, which is moto surfing, which is they get into their car, and it's a precursor to ghost riding the whip.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they all yell moto surf,
Simultaneously.
And then they all get up in their like it's like they have like a VW convertible, and they all get up and like just start like surfing the car down
Paul
the street.
is demonstrating how to surf by doing the universal symbol for I'm surfing. That's where you put your arms up and you kind of just like wave
Tilt
them around.
them back and
Tilt
forth.
them back and forth.
It's made better while seated.
Yeah,
I will
it's
admit.
way better while seated. And then so the motor surf, that's great. They have to go into school to like get like for some reason he has to give like a cultural presentation.
Yeah.
To
it's also worth noting that the brothers' names are Johnny and Adam.
Yeah.
The most like white names as you can get.
But they're Asian.
I don't think that Adam looks Asian even remotely. I think Johnny might a little bit.
Oh, were they like playing into that like we're just gonna make you vaguely ethnic looking?
I
Or
guess.
you'll be ambiguous.
I think most of them are like Filipino.
I don't think Adam is at all. Now I'm needing to just look.
Well, because the interesting thing about this movie is it's a ninja movie made in the 90s for kids that actually has Asian people in it.
That fucking rules.
That is true.
Because at the time they were also making movies like Three Ninjas, which was about three little white boys who like were fully white but had like a half Japanese mother. They said that way they could have their grandfather be Japanese.
Yeah.
And I always was like, wait, but none of you are like clearly none of you were even near being even half Japanese. What's happening?
Well, it's like, I mean, Emma Stone played an Asian in Aloha.
God, I love that she's still probably to this day thinks like, I brought a lot of dignity to that role, and I'm really. Oh, I just realized I can do like a halfway decent Emma Stone impression and got really creeped out.
Yeah. Also, Rob Schneider's I think a quarter Filipino.
No, of course, no. So that fucking rules. Actually, if they're all Asian, they probably it's in a weird fucking mess of a film that like nobody who wrote it knows what any part of Asian culture is actually like.
so it's Ernie Reyes Sr. and Ernie Reyes Jr. as like because Zach is
Zach is a character
who shows up.
None of these people have human names. Zach. That's Zach with a T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Zach is a character that shows up that is like to come to protect the boys and bring them back to Pautusan so that they can fight and defeat Colonel Chi.
Yeah.
And that's the main kid. His in real life, it's his father, Ernie Reyes Sr.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's Ernie Reyes Jr. It plays Johnny, but then Nicholas Cohen plays Adam, and he does look pretty white. If you look on the poster, like Johnny Reyes Jr. Asian.
Yeah.
His brother very much less so.
Yeah.
But in any case, yes, they're attacked by ninjas, and then the dad is killed?
Yeah.
Oh, the question mark from both of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't remember. But then Zach shows up and is like, everything's fine. By the way, Patu-san and...
Yeah, Patu-san's happening. Also, you guys are going to get magical powers.
Mm-hmm. And then this starts the long-running bit of Iggy believing that he's actually the prince. It's a solid running bit.
There's two running bits. There's the bit that Iggy thinks that he's the prince, and also there's a bit where Iggy thinks that he also has his own magical power based off of the phrase "What if." We're like they're all they're all walking away from the house, and Zach has rigged it done the thermostat trick where you like pull out the gas and you take off the thermostat so that it clicks and then the house explodes.
Yeah.
So so like Iggy comes out and is like, hey, this guy left the gas on. What if it explodes? And then it explodes. And he's like, I said, what if? And it happens. I have this enormous power. What if I lose this power?
Oh no.
I had and I lost it.
One thing I do remember hearing about this film is apparently there was a video game tied into it, and don't they actually play that video game in the movie?
That would be a very 90s move.
What happened was because these kids get powers. So one kid, like the Adam, gets the power of like ninja fighting, and then his younger brother gets the power of being able to see the future through his Sega Game Gear.
Yes. Yeah. And it's Johnny and Adam. So Johnny's the older one.
Yeah, Johnny's the older one.
This is like in
I
Spaceballs
totally
when they
forgot
watch
about
the
the
Spaceballs
Game
movie.
Gear.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the Game Gear.
Game Gear was like maybe my favorite video game system when I was a kid.
I definitely remember seeing a Game Gear and my mind was fucking blown. Like I was not somebody, and to this day am not necessarily in the Sega camp at all.
Yeah.
Nintendo until I goddamn die, and y'all, Nintendo Switch is the best.
Yeah.
But you do have to admit, like at the time, before Game Boy Color came out, like
even then, the Game Gear was head and shoulders, like graphically, visually.
Yeah, you had crisper lines and stuff.
You were seeing these colors pop, and suddenly Sonic was on that thing. You were blown away.
Yeah.
I even think that it had like a better audio output too.
I'm sure.
It had a better audio. I mean, it was the size of a Switch.
It was pretty bulky.
Yeah.
It was pretty bulky.
You had like you were holding like at least 2 Game Boys in one when you played the Game Gear.
It was a clunky old thing, but yeah. So
Adam, he was able to tell the future by playing the video game that they were actually selling to children.
Yeah,
that rules.
So yeah, he was able to see and like vaguely control the future through his Sega Game Gear, and then so essentially Zatch steals both of them, like kidnaps them into going back to Padasan so that they can fight. At a certain point, Tone Loc shows up.
What?
As a cop that because his dad gets murdered, because their dad gets murdered, and so Tone Loc is the LAPD officer who is supposed to be in charge of them, and then they somehow get him to also come on the journey.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember being like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah, and if you don't remember who Tone Loc is, he is the guy who had the hit songs "Wild Thing" and "Icy Cold Medina," which is I think "Icy Cold Medina" is vaguely a song about roofing people.
They're
also not roofy, but just making them horny.
They're also the same backbeat.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because you're using samples, but that is wild that he shows up in this film of all places.
Yeah, because I remember him because they take this big giant steamship for some reason to
that's right
to Padasan. So they I think at the last minute, Tone Loc shows up and tries to stop him, and so Zatch just knocks him out and then locks him up in the cargo hold, and then Tone Loc just comes out of the cargo hold. It's how'd you do that? It's oh, I had I have a queen. It's but we searched you. It's yeah, but I swallowed it. I swallowed my key. I pooped it out.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And so then he's I don't know how they excuse this, but the way they excuse it is him nah, I guess I needed a vacation. I'll just come with you guys.
Yeah, there's very minimal conflict throughout the whole thing on the part of any characters who might question the validity of what is happening.
Yeah, of what is happening, and where we need to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Iggy is the only one who sort of fights against it, but then is still drawn in and goes along with it because so Tone Loc and Iggy really don't need to be a part of this story at all because Zatch just needs Adam and Johnny to do their thing.
So what ultimately happens in the film? How does it end?
It ends with okay, so Colonel Chi earlier in the story got crushed by an elephant, so he's now half robot.
Yes.
Of course.
He's got
we don't need any further explanation of that.
He's got a gold shogun mask covering half of his face, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And doesn't he also have machine gun?
No, he has his arm has a whole bunch of spinny whirly blades on it.
Right. It's not a Gatling gun, it's blades. Whatever.
Yeah. But they're mini, he has a regular hand, but just mini blades come off off of his wrist.
Yeah. It's as 90s as you're thinking it is right now.
And I think it's even more we can designate it even more than just 90s. I think what we're trying to describe, because I've been thinking about it, is in the early 90s, it was still acceptable to be high camp. in what you were doing. You could have action films, but it could still be fucking stupid as hell. It could be so exaggerated and it could be so just silly in ways that I feel like action films and like anything that even just for guys or boys is not allowed to be as much anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like MacGruber tapped into that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. That was definitely like an homage to the idea that like you could just have stuff that is like impossible to explain other than like it seemed fun to do.
Yeah.
So what happens?
So they raid his compound. A whole bunch of stuff happens. You know, they all do like, you know, they get the resistance fighter. They all, you know, take over the whole compound.
Oh yeah, they free a town.
Yeah, they free.
Of course they do.
And then I think doesn't like both Iggy and Johnny have like romantic interests at that point or something like that?
I mean, you gotta just throw them that. Otherwise, they might be gay. I think that's
Johnny has a romantic interest in that he has a like a prescribed bride.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, he has an arranged marriage.
Yeah, he has an arranged marriage.
Jesus.
And so that girl also like he meets her up in Little Patusan in Los Angeles, and then she comes with the revolution. So it's all of them raiding that compound. At a certain point, Adam uses his Game Boy to make Colonel Chi. Like Colonel Chi, I think, is about to attack, and so he uses his Game Boy to make Colonel Chi grab and almost rip off his own dick.
What? Wait, but first of all, even in video games, you don't get to control the bad guy. This movie makes no fucking sense.
No, this Game Gear is magic, Reed.
Yeah,
magic.
It's magic, or maybe he used the Game Gear to hack into his robot hand. It's weird.
Yeah. Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah. So, and Colonel Chi, because he's half cyborg, is not like he's allergic to water. So if he gets wet,
yeah, that's right. Oh my god,
man, this film has so much going on.
It has so much great things going on. It's a hat monster, but all the hats look great. So the way they defeat Colonel Chi is, you know, there's a bunch of kung fu fighting, and then he gets kicked into a giant pool of water, and then
he short circuits
and
he dies.
And
then totally Padu-san is fine, and there's like a music video ending.
Because earlier in the movie, like they're supposed to put on like a cultural performance for the Baharam of Mikrob, who's a religious leader.
That's right.
And so instead of putting on something that's like in, like the guy says, like it's like this is going to be a performance that I've been told is in the traditional ethnic style. And so,
traditional ethnic style.
Yeah, that's what he says. So the kids come out and like it sounds like it's like a big deep religious thing, and then he turns around and just starts doing a version of Barbara Ann, but instead they go Baba Ram.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. And
that's what the credits play over.
So the credits, so like they do that earlier, and then for some reason the Babaram of Mikrob is also at the compound, so they just start singing it again and like having a party because Patu-san is now free.
How could you resist watching this film for so long, Michael?
For so many reasons.
This movie sounds like it rules. I'm gonna go watch it immediately after this.
I'm one of these people who I don't really seek out what is like a bad movie. So like, even and like The Room took a while for me to watch, and even then, like I enjoyed it only because I watched it with friends.
Yeah.
But I watched Surf Ninjas alone.
I would say my favorite bad movie is probably Mommy Dearest.
Okay.
Like that film is objectively awful, and like people I've suggested it to have even watched it, but have to be like, oh man, that was hard to get through because like there's not one single sympathetic character in it.
Based on the loose amount of information that has been told to you, though, now Reed.
Yeah.
Where do you feel that this is landing? Also, it's worth noting sorting bias is such that Reed is a Hufflepuff, I'm a Ravenclaw, and Paul, when sober, is a Gryffindor.
Yes. When drunk, I'm a Ravenclaw.
So the fact that the film seemed very much designed, or at least like redesigned to, from what I've been reading, to be like a one long commercial for this Game Gear game, the Surf Ninjas game. That's a pretty Slytherin move. However, it also is around the time that films were being made where, it's
Everything
just fucking
was
it's so
doing
camp
that.
and it's just like not like it's like we're just having fun and we don't care if we're being smart about it,
Mhm.
which I think can be kind of liberating. So in that way, I think it's pretty brave in the way that a Gryffindor is, and like easygoing in the way that a Hufflepuff is. So I would put it either as a Gryffindor or a Hufflepuff.
Mhm. I'd say that it's definitely making bold moves, and obviously to assume that just like every bad camp movie is a Hufflepuff is disingenuous. I think to the Hufflepuff house.
I think so too. But I mean, in this particular way
Sure.
of it being just like super goofy and kind of getting stuff wrong
Mhm.
all the time. Like nothing works the way that this film is saying that it works.
How do you feel about it, Paul?
I feel like it's a Hufflepuff trying to be a Gryffindor.
Okay.
Like, because like its heart is in the right place in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
and it has. I mean, it really goes for it.
That said, it is very much the hero's journey of like you're the chosen boy,
for sure.
liberate, and so for that reason, I think I am now leaning Gryffindor as far as just like character journey goes.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say Gryffindor, but
Yeah.
at least with a strong Hufflepuff.
Yeah, it's on
influence.
the Gryffindor Hufflepuff spectrum.
Yeah, it's the dorkiest Gryffindor.
Let us move on to Southland Tales.
Yes.
I know nothing about Southland
give us-
Tales.
Me
Okay.
either.
Southland Tales is a movie by it was Richard Kelly who directed Donnie Darko.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, I do know a little bit about South.
Oh wait, is this the one that's Justin Timberlake in it?
Yes.
Oh, that's all I know about it. Okay, tell me more.
Okay, this movie was famously booed out of Cannes. It competed for the Palme d'Or somehow,
Mhm.
but
Probably on the goodwill of it being by that guy and having big names in it, right?
yeah.
Also in this film is Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
Hell yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Hell
and
yeah.
Sean William Scott.
Holy
Yep.
shit, that is the most like mid to late 90s like lineup I can imagine.
Yeah.
This movie was originally because the cut that they showed at Cannes you can't see anymore, but what I've heard was originally a musical. Like it had a bunch of musical numbers. There's only one remaining musical number in the cut that you can see, and that's Justin Timberlake doing like a song and dance to that song like I Got Soul but I'm Not a Soldier.
Mhm.
Yeah. Is it the Killers?
The
who sang
Killers.
that?
The Killers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was it a jukebox musical where all of the songs were like ones that were already written?
I think so.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love a good like other examples would be Mamma Mia, which uses
Mhm.
ABBA music, or
I think Across the Universe.
Across the Universe
Rock
is
of
Beatles.
Ages.
Yeah.
One that people don't realize is Grease had a lot of has the film version has songs that were actually just doo-wop and 50s hits that were injected
Mhm.
into the thing. So like Hopelessly Devoted to You,
Mhm.
it was not originally written for Olivia Newton-John for that film, I don't think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was theorized as maybe a jukebox musical.
Yes.
By the way, the score was done in this film by Moby.
That makes complete sense.
Which I'm always delighted whenever Moby comes up in conversation because I hate him.
Really?
I hate Moby.
Why do you hate Moby?
He in Los Angeles, he has this vegan restaurant called Little Pine,
Uh-huh.
and it is like, fuck you, Moby. I'll throw down the gauntlet of our feud that you don't know exists. The single most pretentious meal I've ever had.
All right. What
Also,
was this
Moby,
meal?
because it's all vegan,
Uh-huh.
and like I love vegan food in and of itself as its own like type of food.
Sure.
So like it's not necessarily that I have any like political or just like a weird thing about like not eating meat. But first of all, he was there at the restaurant when I went, and he was sitting at this table that you could tell was designed for him to be seen when people come. It was like Daddy's table. It was like the only booth I think that I saw. And then like at the end of the meal, I ordered like a cobbler or something, and I needed like something to drink with it. So I ordered almond milk. It cost like $7, and it was literally a shot glass worth. I was so mad. But then also apparently, like he also is like a dude who's like in his late 40s, early 50s, and still goes on like OkCupid dates and pulls the very much like I'm Moby move on them the entire time. Yeah, I know of somebody who went on a date with him and apparently it was a nightmare.
That's fun.
So I got a strong Moby bias.
All right. So Southland Tales, what's the plot?
See, that's the difficult question.
Okay.
So
are we going to need to pull up Wikipedia and just like...
No, I can tell you. I mean, the problem is like, because even if you went on Wikipedia, it would probably be a paragraph long and not necessarily... This is an extreme movie. So, so this movie takes place, takes place like before Barack Obama is president. So this is like Bush era.
Mm-hmm.
This supposes that the war on terror goes completely differently. That like there's a secondary attack in Texas of like where like 2 nuclear bombs go off.
So this is an alternate history piece.
Yeah.
Okay. Already that's bold.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it leads to the rise of this of instead of Homeland Security, it's called U.S. Ident, where this organization it's a government organization that just surveils all American citizens at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think oil reserves are gone, this German company comes up with this like new form of energy called fluid motion, where I guess they like have like sink these generators down deep into the ocean and use the power of the waves to generate all this kind of free electricity everywhere.
Sure.
But fluid motion, like the big secret is that fluid motion might be degrading reality. Like it might be causing holes in like physics to act weird and like holes in the space-time continuum.
All right. Now we're getting to the Richard Kelly that I know.
Yeah.
It can't be Richard Kelly if it's not time travel. Donnie Darko had time travel. Everything has time travel.
It's all the reality is going to collapse on itself.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's like our basic background information that our main characters stumble upon.
Yeah. That's like that's like the reveal at the end is that's what's happening. Kind of.
Uh-huh.
That's what fluid motion is happening. Kind of. Okay, so let's just go with characters. The Rock plays this actor who like has amnesia and has written a screenplay that prophetically tells the ending of the world.
Dude, this is all like honestly, I think Richard Kelly accidentally like invented the Black Mirror format and then like doesn't get any credit for it.
Right now, it seems as though a bunch of loose scraps of paper were pulled from a hat.
Yeah.
And because just the 3 elements that we currently have of jukebox musical, reality distorting energy wave nonsense, and amnesia having screenwriter who's prophesized the end of the world.
I fucking love this.
Seem like 3 very different pieces that should not exist within the same 2+ hour package.
Yeah.
Continue.
Hold on to your butts, because Sarah Michelle Gellar plays a like porn star or former porn star that has who's like trying to change the world with her new talk show that she has. Like, she's trying to combat the war and teen horniness. And so I guess she also helped him write that prophetic screenplay that's telling like how the end of the world's going to happen. And so I think US Ident is also trying to like get their hands on the screenplay to make sure that it doesn't like disseminate or like to figure out like what's going on. Sean William Scott plays 2 characters.
Great.
Oh my God. Double casting Sean William Scott.
I think I forget the characters' names. I think it's like Devin and Devon
or
something like that.
If you don't remember who Sean William Scott is, he's Stifler from American Pie.
I think it's like Ronald and Roland or something like that. The names are similar, but like they're just spelled silently.
Are they twins?
Yeah, they're twin brothers.
Of course they are.
And one twin is a police officer and the other one isn't.
And that's the distinction.
That's the distinction, but he's pretending to be. But the one that isn't is pretending to be a police officer because he's a part of this underground Marxist organization. Just the look on Michael's face right now.
I can't. I'm so what is this film?
I don't
What
know.
is this? Why would this be greenlit? Why would
Because it's Richard Kelly.
sure
Donnie
like
Darko.
hot off the heels of, but like no, but
And also, like, this was like Dwayne Johnson's like first big foray into film. Apparently, this is his first billing where he wasn't designated as The Rock.
where he wasn't the Scorpion King.
Yeah,
Yeah, where he wasn't the Scorpion King.
So like this had like, and at the time, all of the stars were huge. So this had like a lot of goodwill for it.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that it was a science fiction horror thing, like, also should have definitely like given an advantage because those are easier to make money back on in theaters. But I don't think that probably happened, right?
Yeah. No, I don't. No.
Okay, continue. Where does this nightmare go?
Everywhere.
Like, how does it end though?
Okay, so this movie ends with the reveal that fluid karma is kind of degrading reality, and also the timelines. So it's revealed that both Sean William Scott and Dwayne Johnson's characters actually traveled through time, and that I think Dwayne Johnson, who I think like plays an actor like I guess was in Iraq at the time with Sean William Scott. It's like they were together and they both got blown up.
And that
by a roadside bomb.
And that blew them up through time.
Yes, they will send time duplicates through time. So Sean William Scott actually doesn't have a twin brother. They're both Sean William Scott.
What?
So there's a double of Dwayne The Rock Johnson somewhere.
Well, the double of him is just like mostly blown up. Like it's just like a torso, like him like lying in a hospital bed.
What is the conflict of this movie? Just trying to reveal that ident is bad?
I think to stop fluid motion is the conflict, is that we have to bring this down and bring down the government.
Is there like a determined bad guy?
What was it? Wallace Shawn?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That he's I need to check IMDb right now, because if this is true, and also it's worth noting, like Richard Kelly's only other movie since Southland Tales was The Box.
Oh yeah, The Box.
Which, Jesus.
What's in the box?
He makes these high concept films that all have really interesting and like actually important things to talk about, but then he does it as incoherently as possible.
Yeah, like the original cut of Donnie Darko was that way, and the reason we love that movie is because it had an amazing editor.
Yeah, I'm an editor. I fucking believe that.
Yeah.
I want to. Okay, if we while Michael does his research, we can start dipping our toes into sorting.
Wallace Shawn is in this movie.
I would say
Wallace Shawn is in this movie, and his character name is Baron von Westphalen. Just the fact that it's Baron von anything is a problem.
Okay, but let's try to be fair to the film as possible. For the themes, we're talking about like fighting the military-industrial complex.
Also, Kevin Smith is in this.
Yes,
of course he is.
He plays a guy with no legs, like Lieutenant Dan.
His character's name is Simon Theory.
Yep.
And it also seems like, just from what you described, it also talks like it's dealing with really interesting things in terms of like women in entertainment and like their role and like how sexuality plays into it with the Sarah Michelle Gellar stuff. So that's interesting to me.
Eli Roth is uncredited as man who gets shot on toilet in this film. Continue with what you were saying, Reed.
I'm going to attempt to do it like intelligent analysis of a film that is not utter nonsense. And like it really like taps into interesting things about time travel at a time that they weren't necessarily too interested in talking about it.
Will Sasso plays Fortunio Balducci.
Yeah, he's a part of the Marxist underground.
Of course he is.
Marxist underground.
Continue.
Well, this film was according to Richard Kelly, it was, he tried to make this film to kind of sway the American election. And
Amy Poehler plays a character called Veronica Mung /Dream.
Yep.
Man, this movie seems like the kind of movie that
Mandy Moore plays Madeline.
If I accidentally watched it while
Santaros.
high, I would think that it was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
John Lovitz.
Yep. I was going to bring it up.
Plays Bart Bookman.
He is a badass cop. That's like
John Lovitz plays a badass cop. In anything?
Like he's like a badass dirty cop. There's a part in that movie where he shoots, where he shoots all the Marxists.
Jean Garofalo.
Janine Garofalo's in this too.
Janine Garofalo.
Everybody's here. Everybody's here.
Yeah.
This is craziness.
This is like a fucking there's so many celebrities. This feels like Love Actually, but with fucking sci-fi horror.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
All right.
This also has a prequel comic book, like graphic novel that you're supposed to read before you watch the movie.
Oh dear.
God, that's so. Oh, God.
Were you leaning for this to be a Ravenclaw? Was that what you were?
No, I was trying to think of the ways that at least it wasn't it looked like it was trying to make art.
Sure.
Is my overarching point, and it's just missed the mark because
so spectacularly.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if this was
this movie is all ambition.
Yeah, it's ambition, but it also feels like it probably had a lot of influence from the studios.
I mean, if it's got a lot of ambition, that would make it be leaning towards Slytherin, but it also just exploded in spectacular fashion, which would maybe make it a Gryffindor.
No, I think this probably is a Gryffindor. This really feels like Icarus flying so close to the sun that it just flies directly into it.
Yeah, it failed on the trajectory calculation so badly, and it's going far too fast and just burning up and melted waxes everywhere.
If it had just picked one out of the 50 things going on in the film, it probably would have been much better served.
All right, let's say it's a Gryffindor and close out with Freaked.
Yes. Oh God, Freaked.
This is the movie that, of all films that Paul has talked at me about how great it is.
And we have to be specific. It's not to, it's talked at us.
I will definitely support that I've talked at you
yes.
this movie.
I think me a couple times too. I think you've been trying to get me to watch Freaked as well.
He has Freaked on double disc special edition.
And he brought it over, even though the podcast listeners will not be able to see it, but I think in one more attempt to try to get you to watch it, Michael.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure he's going to hide it in my bedroom somewhere.
Well, also the cover has a visual reference of the characters in this movie, which are very difficult to describe.
Sure. You have it on the bed there behind you. Give it to me.
You got it.
Oh Lord. All right. So, oh my Christ.
Yep.
This is an actual thing, but in no indication, just based on what I'm looking at, there's not even a title on this DVD case.
The double disc special edition, which is out of print and very rare, is
all right. And just to try to get you prepared for what you're about to experience, Michael, I can say that the budget for this film in '93 was $13 million.
Uh-huh.
And it made in the box office $29,000.
Yeah. I mean, I know that this was directed by Alex Winter.
Yep. Of Bill and Ted fame.
Of Bill and Ted fame.
Also has Keanu Reeves in it.
Yes.
As a cameo.
And it was within 3 years of Bill and Ted being made.
Yeah. I in no way could describe what this DVD box looks like without requiring 35 minutes minimum.
It's like a collage made by a serial killer of all the characters.
It really is. These are wildly dissimilar individuals all pieced together on either side of this disc. Some of the characters do repeat, which is very odd. One or two of them poorly photoshopped.
The cowboy does.
The cowboy is there. This weird, I think it's Alex Winter's character.
Yeah.
That is half monster. The sock person is repeated twice over.
Yeah.
I'll let you just starting to describe this thing. Let's go into it, Paul.
I do want to say, like, to also get you a good sense of what this film is like and its sensibilities, because it feels like it's very much a black comedy for the grunge youth generation.
It's a trauma film. It's a trauma film for sure.
The score was done, or at least at some point features the Butthole Surfers, which makes me like 90% more interested in the film.
This film was actually originally supposed to be a Butthole Surfers film.
Hell yes. And like the Butthole Surfers are just so good. I love them so much.
Yeah, originally it was a much smaller film, and they tried to get with the Butthole Surfers. Nobody wanted to make it. Then they turned it into a $13 million film, and then everyone wanted to make it.
and
nobody wanted to see it.
This film ended up not getting a wide release, right?
Yeah,
even though it was like supposed to be produced to be one.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a big release for the for the studio, and then the guy whose baby it was got fired, so they got a new guy in. And so he saw so he went to a test screening for it, and the testing did not go well. So he cut like a lot of the special effects budget, and he also cut almost all of the advertising for the film.
Mm-hmm. And just was like, let's bury this.
Yeah, let's just bury this.
All right, so now that we are properly equipped, what is the plot of Freaked?
Freaked is it's about this actor who used to be really famous and still is kind of famous. Goes to this company to get because they want to give him an endorsement deal, because they want him to endorse this fertilizer compound called Ziggurat. I think it's Ziggurat 25, which has been banned in every country except for in South America, this fictional country of Santa Flan. Named after the patron saint of sugary desserts.
Jesus.
And originally he's like, I don't know, that stuff's lethal. And then they're like, we'll give you $5 million. And he's like, all right.
Yeah, as any star would have done.
So him and his best friend fly down there. His best friend is, his best friend's almost from the 40s, kind of like this misogynist, kind of sidekick guy. So him and his best friend go down there. Also, his biggest fan, who he just calls the troll, also follows him down there.
The troll?
Who is this, he's a little kid with giant ears and huge buck teeth that he hates, but is his biggest fan. And
our main character is Alex Winter, this fallen from grace Hollywood star type. Yeah. Okay.
So he shows up. They meet up with there's a whole bunch of white eco warriors protesting. I don't know why I specifically had to call them white.
It's all right.
It's the 90s. They're white. So anyway, so they're all protesting, and I guess Alex Winter thinks that she's really hot, so he fakes being a burn unit victim to try to seduce her, and it works somehow a little bit until he reveals that no, I'm Alex Winter, I'm the character, and she's she's his romantic interest,
right? And
so they're driving to the farm, and then they see on the side of the road oh, hey, look, a freak show, and they're all so they all go to see the freak show. The freak show is run by Randy Quaid, and the secret, really it's a trap, and Randy Quaid's
in this movie. I gotta go. I have to give me that DVD. I have to go watch it right now.
We were going to be watching I, Tonya after this recording, but instead we're going to be watching Freaked.
Oh, dear God. You guys will love Freaked, because so he kidnaps them, and he has a custom freak building machine that he's built himself, and he works on a Mac computer, and he uses the chemical Ziggurat 25 to mutate to create all of his freaks, his mutant freaks. So he mutates the misogynist best friend character and the
troll,
and the eco warrior girl together to make a conjoined twin kind of.
Oh.
So it's 3 legs, and they split at the waist.
Ugh.
the first thing he tries to do is grab her boobs because he's a misogynist.
Yeah, it's 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he decides to turn Alex Winter into his notorious super freak. But he doesn't have enough Ziggurat 25 to do it, so he only is able to do like half of his body. So through most of this movie, half of Alex Winter is this horribly disgusting like monster. And the way the makeup worked is because he has like this big grin. So Alex Winter is mostly drooling on himself throughout most of the scenes because he can't fully shut his own mouth.
That's amazing.
And so they get like put into this like he keeps all of his freaks in this outhouse that is bigger on the inside, like the TARDIS.
Great.
So you have Bobcat Goldthwait playing Sacco, the human sock.
Oh my god!
You have
he plays his Sacco character in here.
I guess.
Wow. Yeah, because I definitely know that he's played the Sacco character outside of Freaked.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Maybe
he did like stand up and stuff, and I remember
one
him
might
doing
be
something with a
inspired
sock.
by the other, or vice versa.
You have Mr. T playing the bearded lady.
Wow.
Which apparently in the movie he was only there for a couple of days and then he just left. He just left the set and never came back. He was too embarrassed.
I pity myself as a fool for this and left. Oh my god. Okay, what else?
There's a cowboy, which is just a cow in a cowboy outfit. There's the human worm.
And Cowboy is played by John Hawkes. If I'm reading this correctly.
I wouldn't know because the cowboy makeup is so good.
Mm-hmm.
There's the human frog, which is just a guy in a scuba outfit. That he never takes off the scuba outfit.
That rules.
And I think that's it. I think those are the main. Oh, there's a pinhead. There's the human torch, which is a guy that just farts all the time, and his farts are constantly on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just mutant freaks, and so he has to call. So like he's trying. So what's happening is Randy Quaid's character like tries to get like enough Ziggurat to like complete his super freak creature, and Alex Winter's character discovers that he has a mental one of his super freak powers is that he has a mental connection with the troll. So he tries to get the troll to like help break him out and like cure him of his now freakism, I guess. And so at a certain and also Randy Quaid has on Randy Quaid's side to like keep all the freaks at bay, he has a human toad, which is just like this big fat guy that can just like grab anything with his tongue real super quick. And he has two Rastafarian eyeballs called I and I. And they're just
my god.
They're weed smoking submachine gun toting eyeballs. They're just giant eyeballs.
Movie.
I would just like to point out as Paul was describing this, Reed's eyes got wider than I have ever seen.
And that says a lot because my eyeballs are basically the size of beach balls.
It was as if they were trying to come out of your head so they could become Rastafarian weed smoking eyes that would help Randy Quaid.
The description of the Rastafarian eyeballs, just like every word that you were saying made it I understood less of what was going on as you explained more.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's so much going on in this film that I love.
See, this all just terrifies me. There's no part of this that I'm like, okay.
Well, the thing about this movie is I saw this movie originally when I was really, really young, apparently, and the monsters from this movie are really weird and gross looking. So I guess I saw this really young and it haunted my dreams forever.
Yeah.
And then when I was maybe 13, I saw it on TV and I was like, oh my god, I thought this was just like really messed up stuff my brain just came up with to torture myself.
So you had like been haunted for so long.
Yeah, I've been haunted by years.
And this kind of like made you realize that you weren't insane.
Yeah, that I wasn't secretly an insane person.
That's always helpful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like I love this film like in the same way that I love like the more benign things like Bill and Ted and like Beavis and Butthead at the time, just like full black surrealist humor that doesn't really shy away from being subversive, but never really punches down too much, except for the ways that like people were basically racist and sexist at the time.
So the conflict is just, we need to get out of this freak show.
Yeah, we need to get cured and we need to get out of this freak show.
And do they?
Well, they they break into his lab and create like good serum. Well, they try to make good serum to like cure themselves, but like then he comes back into the lab and they accidentally drop it and leave it in the lab. And then so what happens is he gets the troll to come and like grab the good serum, and like there's going to be like because it's all leading up to this big show where he's going to like finish the process and turn him into the indestructible super freak. And so what happens is like the troll has the good serum, and so troll has the good serum, like is trying to give it back to him, but like they're at the circus, so like he's like standing up like trying to give him back the thing, and like the guy behind him goes like damn you little kid, why don't you sit down, like grabs the can of the good serum, dumps it over the troll's head, so the troll transforms into like the ultimate good super freak. And so Randy Quaid gets scared and like finishes up Alex Winter as the ultimate evil super freak. So then they start fighting, and Troll as the good super freak is something out of your nightmares, because he has like this big pot belly. He's super strong. His big buck teeth are even worse. He still has like regular human sized eyeballs that are like kind of still popping out, but an enormous head, enormous ears. It is something out of your nightmares. So they start fighting each other, and then like the evil super freak is about to like kill him, and then the cowboy just starts saying, it's like, hey, I better be real cool if you let that troll kid into your heart, and then it stops the evil freak, and then good troll like just reaches up and is like, I love you. And then I don't think they kiss, but they definitely hug. And
the power of love saves Alex Winters.
Well, the power of when they broke into the lab of the scientists, they ate, like, he made macaroons, so they, like, all the freaks ate them. And apparently the antidote was in the macaroons.
Of course it was.
But like, so Randy Quaid like is gonna like come up and destroy him, and it's like do you think I made you strong? I've like I've cranked up my DNA so hard you won't know what hit you, and like starts punching at him, but like nothing's happening, and so Alex as the evil super freak just like hits him over the head and just like cracks his spinal cord, and then punches him in the stomach, and like lunges him all the way into like a big vat of the ziggurat solution. Also the people who were providing him with the ziggurat was the Everything Except Shoes Corporation. And so they tried to steal it, so he ends up shooting them with the raw chemicals and turning them all, like, they all like meld together to form like a giant human shoe, which is horrifying to look at. But anyway, so he goes in there, and then like they're all done and like hugging, and then all of a sudden Randy Quaid's character pops out of the
Ziggurat 25.
Yeah, the Ziggurat 25
as like the final boss.
Yeah, and that final boss is oh god, what's her name? She was in Blue Lagoon.
Oh, Brooke Shields?
Yeah, Brooke Shields.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Brooke Shields is in this movie?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. So Randy Quaid turns into Brooke Shields?
Yep.
Into a hot babe?
Yeah, it's Brooke. It looks exactly like Brooke Shields, except for she has horribly ugly feet.
Oh no!
And the framing of this movie is that he's being,
God forbid a woman have like feet that you don't want to fuck also.
Yeah.
Sorry, Quentin Tarantino.
Whoa! We just heard who Michael's feuds with.
Yeah. So
dragging Quentin.
The framing of this movie is that like Alex Winter's character is being interviewed by this woman who is played by Brooke Shields. So at the ending, when it's like, oh, so he looked just like me? And it's like, yeah, I looked exactly like you, except for just with horrible feet, and then they both look down. And it's like the horrible feet, and then it's just Randy Quaid's voice being like, "I'm gonna drink your blood."
That's how the film ends.
No, and then
if it did cut to black at that point, I'd be like, "This was the best film ever."
Yeah.
But now we're entering new territory. Where does this go?
What happens?
One of the now cured freaks comes out of nowhere and shoots him a bunch. And then it's like, and then they continue like everyone's cured and stuff, and then she pops up again, and then he gets shot a second time, and the movie ends with him popping up a third time, but like everyone, like it's like a nice, fun ending.
Yeah.
Wait. So Alex Winter gets shot and dies?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Alex Winter fully cured. The only freak that doesn't get cured is the human worm.
Wait, what about Randy Quaid, who's still the hot chick?
Yeah. Well, I guess Randy Quaid keeps getting shot and not dying, but
he gets shot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
This is a man who is transformed into a person who just looks like Brooke Shields.
Yeah.
Yes.
This film is already confusing enough, Paul. You have to be clear on who you're talking about.
I'm sorry. So Randy Quaid keeps getting shot. But Randy Quaid as Brooke Shields, and it kind of just keeps kind of popping up, but that's just the end of the movie.
I know. I love films like that kind of just like, we're not gonna end it in a place that even feels satisfying for the audience. I kind of loved when that happens.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And there's bits throughout this movie, like they go to a commercial break of like it's like you like being a man and you like cheese. That's why you like machismo, and it's just a can of just cheese.
I know this film sounds like it has a lot of stuff going on, like besides just like the absurdist like horror comedy aspects of it. It really appeals to me, like like this like anti-corporation, like environmental consciousness, like this film definitely of the three, it's like probably the one that I am actually the most excited to go watch,
which is probably why it's a Hufflepuff.
What do you think, Paul?
I would say it's a Hufflepuff.
Oh, I would for sure also.
because it's got a lot in there. There's a lot of great bits. They want it all. They want the hideous monsters. They want the great jokes. They want Mr. T.
Hell yeah, we want Mr. T. All right, we got Hufflepuff then.
Yes.
And that kind of that wraps us up for this episode, right? Michael,
yes,
which movie are you going to go see now?
Of these three, I mean, I've already seen Surf Ninja, so it's between Southland Tale and Freaked.
Yeah.
I mean, to make Paul stop talking about it, it's probably going to be Freaked.
Yeah.
We'll set a time read that both of us can watch it together.
So we'll end there. Paul, where can they find you on social media if they want to talk to you about more amazingly terrible films?
If you want to talk about terrible films, absolutely tweet me at Paul Roberson on Twitter. It's PAUL ROB as in boy ERSON.
And then give a plug for your very amazing show.
Yeah. Oh my God. If you loved either drinks, cocktails, or watching a guy get super drunk while making drinks, you have to watch my show. It's called The Minimalist Mixer. I make drinks from the 1960s. And because fake alcohol doesn't look right, I just use real alcohol, and I get progressively drunker and drunker throughout the episode. And I'll go on like weird tangents. It's great.
No, yeah, like if you enjoyed listening to Paul talk about these things, definitely watch him in his element. It's more of the same, but with just like an interactive thing. You could potentially be making the cocktail with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, where can they find us if they want to yell more movies at you that you should watch that are terrible?
At Belated Media for me, at That Dang Dingus for Reed, at the Sorting Hat _pod to just interact with us. Let us know other topics that we might want to be sorting, or interact with the polls that we have daily of where various things should be sorted. And also leaving us a review on iTunes is always helpful, or just telling your friends, hey, I've got this podcast that I really enjoy. You might too. Pick an episode, send it their way. It's great.
All right, guys, we're going to sign off, but we'll see you at the movies.
I love you all.